We paged Dr. Paul, and look, here he is. How are you?
Well, yourself.
Good. Boy, oh boy, we just walked out here on the balcony here at 87 George, and it is hot.
It really is. It really is.
Yesterday I was telling some folks, people asked me if I was out in the heat yesterday, and the answer is no.
Yeah.
I went home and sat in the AC. I turned on the AC in the house, and the only time I went out was to barbecue.
Sure.
One of the things we want to touch on today is how to barbecue safely in this heat.
That's right. Well, the first thing is I want to talk about the food safety. So hamburger disease. You want to make sure that the hamburgers are well cooked because they can carry E. coli, which is a bad germ that you don't want to get. And basically, some simple tips. When you're preparing the meat, make sure you clean everything afterwards.
Yeah.
And some of the follies that we see all the time, when you're cooking your hamburgers, make sure that they're cooked properly, 72 degrees. Make sure you have a thermometer. Gray is not enough. You want to make sure they're cooked well.
And listen, you don't have to be standing there next to your barbecue the whole time watching the thermometer. You can get these remote ones now.
Oh, they got these laser ones that you can do.
Yeah, it's very cool.
It's very easy.
Really, you don't have to spend a whole lot of time at it, but you'll actually be safe knowing.
But you know what some people do? They get the fancy gizmo, they get the laser, and it's fine. They take it out, they put it in the same plate that they had the raw meat on, and that's what you shouldn't be doing. So
wash that plate or get it fresh.
Exactly, and that's a lot of people do that. And then very often what they do is they forget that the area they've been working on with, for example, fixing the patties or putting the patties together, they don't clean it, and they use it for cutting their salad, for example. So what you're doing is you're contaminating the salad. So it's just some common sense stuff.
Yeah. Now the other thing is when you're actually outside working on a barbecue, it's going to be hot.
Yes, it will be.
You know, hot and next to the barbecue and the hot weather, the combination.
So you've got to be sensitive to that as well. Obviously, for anybody, and you know, we've issued heat and humidity warnings now for the next couple of days for all of Eastern Ontario.
Yeah.
And basically, if you're going to do that, try to do it in the shade, obviously.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, we do recommend not to use your stove too much in the home or the oven because it's going to heat it even more. So it's kind of a balance between the two. If you're lucky enough to be able to go out and barbecue, do it in the shade, obviously.
Yeah. Takeout places are loving this weather.
Oh yeah, because nobody wants to cook.
Nobody wants to cook. They don't want to go outside. They don't even want to barbecue half the time.
That's right.
I don't blame them.
I don't blame them either. The other thing too is, people tell me I don't have an air conditioner. Like we're lucky enough to have air conditioners.
Yeah.
What do you do? Well, there's certain things you can do. Basically, you can make sure that the blinds and curtains are down.
Yeah.
Get a fan.
Oh, yeah.
And try to sort of avoid going out during peak periods and get plenty of breaks and go to malls and as a matter of fact.
Go to the theater.
Go to the theater, go to the mall, go to the pool.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, in Eastern Ontario, some of the cities now are actually opening up their city halls to people so they can go in and relax.
I know in Toronto they have cooling stations today because they've got that big heat advisory.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to mention to you today, and I fully admit this, last week I had a week off, and I was playing some golf in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Actually, I started around 10 o'clock in the morning. So I'm at the height of the heat and the humidity and all that sort of thing. And I was walking around the golf course, and I like to have a couple of pops when I'm golfing. What I didn't do was take in any water.
Yeah, then that's.
And I only had a couple of beer, but I didn't take in any water.
Well, Kurt, you bring a good point. Okay.
Yeah.
You need to drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
And you need to drink it continuously.
Well, I tell you what happened to me that night. I woke up in the middle of the night with severe leg cramps, and they were seriously bad. And I think it's because I was dehydrated.
Well, you're dehydrated, and when you're sweating, you lose a lot of sodium and so on.
You don't realize it.
You don't realize it. And as a matter of fact, kids are the most important ones. I got a call yesterday. What should I do with my kid's soccer team? Obviously, when the humidex is over 35, you shouldn't be doing vigorous activity, especially for young kids.
Yeah.
So I told them not to do that. But if you're going to be going out in hot, humid weather, make sure that you're drinking a lot. And kids themselves, Kurt, don't feel thirsty, even though they get dehydrated.
No, I know.
So you have to take breaks, frequent breaks, come on in, get into the shade, give them some water, and go back out. And water is the best thing for that, actually.
Yeah. Good to see you.
Nice to be back.
Thanks for your time.
Dr.
Paul, some good tips today. Drink your water, folks. Don't be like me. The beer was great, but it didn't hydrate me, that's for sure.